Hello and welcome back to the channel. As most of you know, I'm Topher. And for those of you who don't know and just randomly decided to click on my video, welcome to the channel. I'm Topher. Thank you for stopping by. So we're here to do a reaction and we're diving back into We Best Love. We're actually backtracking a little bit. I released my reaction to episode 1 of We Best Love Fighting Mr. Second earlier today. And then I went and handled some little tasks I had to handle, and then I came back and did some more recording, and then I saw in the comments to that video that there were a number of you guys who were like, hey, there was actually, some of you were under the impression that I watched this already, and then there were some of you who were like, hey, there's actually an in-between episode between end of season 1 and beginning of season 2 that kind of fills in some things, and season 2 kind of goes under the impression that you've already seen that. And I'm like, oh, well, I didn't know that existed. So I felt like I should watch that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to react to We Best Love, number 1 for you, episode 6.5, apparently. And just fill in some of the gaps. At this point of recording this, I've already reacted to episode 2 of Fighting Mr. Second. So if there's anything that episode 2 answered already from this, then I've already gotten that information. And if there's other information here that just makes things that happen in episode 2 make more sense, then that's that. But yeah, so we're gonna dive into this and just see if it fills in any more gaps or answers any more questions that I already had.
所以我都下班了，喝酒都还被堵到。你们不会放过我？哎，轻一点啊！我看你们是故意在我面前放闪吧？为你介绍你未来的表弟媳，周书义。好，那就是我表哥裴守义。
明明就是他表哥，装什么追求者？害我！
I've seen this. Did I
吃醋啊？
did I click the wrong thing? This is all very familiar.
好啦，不要闹他了。心疼啊？随便你们。唉，老师雇你们这些屁孩也够了。我看我应该也为自己做些事了。哎，今天算我的。不用，小样子。怎样？看看那对恋人，是不是觉得自己有孤单老人的形象？真好啊，好想谈恋爱啊！唉，干嘛？又不是每个人都跟你一样有情感障碍，谈恋爱多美好啊！哎，我那天上网查了一下资料，我发现你现在这个状态是精神分裂的高危险期，先是情感冷漠，再来是情感迟钝，哪天变成情感衰退，你就离抑郁症不远了。到底是谁伤过你，让你变得这么麻木的啊？来，你现在不当餐酒馆老板，改当心理医生了吗？
I think I know who heard it.
人往往好了伤疤，却忘了痛。恋爱时，双方大脑填充的多巴胺，太容易掩盖正常思考能力，直到现实被血淋淋的摊在眼前。有时候放手比分手还难。分手是因为不爱了，但因为还爱着，就无法潇洒放手。
God, he's got such beautiful cheekbones.
你
这么闲，还不如辅导这一生转行，未来开间餐酒馆跟你抢生意如何
？Okay. I was sitting here like, I've seen parts of this already. Is this okay?
下飞机的时候有点状况，延误了时间。现在才刚到家，你应该睡死了吧？刚进到房间，突然觉得有点不习惯，发现这是写给你的第一封信。懒得用邮件的你，可能会忘记收信吧。邮件忘了收没关系，手机随时充电，带着连上网，不要让我找不到你啊！我很想你。
Hi, baby. Do you want some cake?
Oh, sure.
Try. Is it good?
可以。
Nice.
Oscar?
Do you want to drink oranges?
No,
No?
no thanks. Oscar?
Maybe any place you want to go?
Why not just stay here? Play with Oscar.
Okay.
I'm so confused.
原来你在美国都在晒太阳、晒恩爱。有些事不用当面讲，当面看到就可以。
I mean, seeing things without context is a great way to misconstrue situations. And I mean, I don't know who the hell these people are right now. It doesn't look great, but
Give me that.
I feel like the situation is not what he's making it out to be.
我想你，有些事我想当面告诉你，但再给我一点时间。
高士的，你不用怕我会死缠着不放。看在我们认识那么久的份上，我祝福你幸福美满。今天起，我们不用再见了，再见就当陌生人。
不说，是怕在你面前我会忍不住抱怨；不见面，是怕我想要把你绑在身边，不让你离开。周书毅，我真的很想你。书毅，你有看到讯息吗？书毅，回我好吗？ 书意，我真的好想你。你为什么都不回我讯息啊？你到底去哪里了？离开台湾快2年了，周书意，你的讯息从已读不回到没有读取，mail 从第一封信开始就石沉大海。我知道，你一定生气了吧？说好2个月回去，却搞到了2年了，还在这。你愿意听我解释原因吗？我明天就会回去了，书意，我搭最早的一班飞机回去，这2天到，至少见个面，好吗？
Now I just got more fucking questions. Answer a goddamn thing. So yeah, like I said, that didn't answer a damn thing. Now I just got more questions. Who the hell is she? Who's she and who this baby? Who's in the hospital? If you saw my reaction to episode 2 of Fighting Mr. Second, which I'll probably put out before this one just because I watched it first, then you'll have seen where I was speculating. Well, I mean, I already came to a conclusion on my own that Shiyu's daddy was involved, and he was the person, or he had some part to play in keeping them apart, keeping Shide over in America for some reason, or he played some part. And then as the episode went on, it was revealed that there was some promise that was made. Shide made some promise to his father, and we don't know what the stipulations of the promise were. But now that I'm seeing this, I'm seeing, okay, there's hospital bills. Who's in the hospital? Someone's in the hospital. Someone was in the hospital. I don't know, because he went over there to see his mom get married and meet his stepdad. Okay. We didn't see any of them in this. So I don't know if one of them was in the hospital and there's just a lot of bills that need to be paid. So daddy's over here saying, if you stay away from my son, I will give you the money to pay for these bills. Or if it's someone unrelated, maybe it was this girl that we saw, this blonde lady. Maybe she needed to have a baby and it was expensive. And I don't know. There are hospital bills that I'm assuming need to get paid, and that's why he stayed away. But there are things he needed to explain. There's lots of things that need to get explained. But I don't know who the hell she is and who this baby is. Could just be a cousin. That could be a sister. That could be his nephew, niece. I don't know. I have no idea. I got questions. It did explain a little bit why sexy cousin Dr. Man is now all of a sudden a bartender. Because I was wondering that a little bit when we saw him in episode 2. So yes, he kind of just came up with a thing, well, you know, maybe I'll just become a bartender and compete with you. I'm like, okay, well, now he's a bartender. So there's that. And then as I've seen in episode 2, at least I'm making the connection. I'm claiming that this is the person, sweet little, my sweet little sweater cinnamon roll Death Note L guy, who has some past relationship with sexy doctor cousin bartender man. I'm assuming that he is the person who broke his heart or something in some way, shape, or form. We'll find out more as we get further into that series. But yeah, so he tried to do a surprise visit. He saw something, and he started to walk up and, like, you know, cause a scene, and then he's like, no, I've seen what I need to see. And the problem with that sort of response is you end up with these sort of situations where it's like you didn't get the actual details of what was going on. You didn't get any clarification of the situation. You just saw a moment, and we can be our own worst enemies. So he saw a moment, and he just pieced together in his brain what he thought that moment meant. And he's like, you know what? He's been lying to me this whole time. He's actually straight and in love with this woman, and he's got a kid, and this, that, and the other, and he's coming up with all these mental gymnastics, jumping through hoops and hurdles. Like, you know what? Fine. Bye. I'm done. And he, he's the one who seemed to have ended everything without actually letting Shide know, which is also not a great way. Like, I mentioned it in my reaction to episode 2, because I was under the impression that Shide left him on, wasn't communicating with him, but it seems to be the other way around. She got his feelings hurt and then started ghosting Shide, and Shide is like, hey, why aren't you talking to me? Hey, what's going on? Hey, you're probably mad. Hey, blah blah blah. So I guess I cleared that up a little bit, but he's been holding on to this resentment for years at this point, and this resentment that he's got no real I'm not gonna say no real claim to, but like he's got all this anger and resentment pent up over an idea that he invented in his head, and it's like, not saying that Shide shouldn't have been honest. Shide wanted to be honest, and Shide is ready to tell him eventually, just wasn't ready at that particular moment in time. But I feel like he should have at least given Shide the opportunity to explain the situation rather than inventing a situation in his head. Because now he's got his feelings hurt, and he's been holding on to all this resentment for all these years over a situation that doesn't exist, over a situation that potentially doesn't exist. Because again, I don't know who this girl is, and I don't know what the situation is. It doesn't look great from she's expected, perspective, but still, he doesn't have any actual facts to the situation. He's just getting upset about something that he thinks happened, and that is a surefire way to make a situation a million times worse, to just let your brain run wild and come up with all kinds of scenarios. So he spent all these years upset and pissed off over something that he didn't need to be. If he had just walked up and opened an honest conversation. How many times have I said that? But I get it. They're young, they're stupid, it is what it is. Yeah, so if anything, some of you guys were like, this was supposed to answer some questions, and the series, the second season, is kind of proceeding under the guise that we saw this already, and I'm like, this didn't answer any damn questions. This just made me even more confused about what the hell's going on here. But we'll just have to wait and see where episode 3 takes us. I'm not watching it right now. I'm going to bed. I am tired, and I'm not binging this entire show in one sitting. I'm not going to. I refuse. As much as it's tempting me to, I'm not going to. So I'm going to pause it here. I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, turn on notifications to be notified when all of my shenanigans get posted. If there's anything else you'd like me to react to, be sure to leave it down in the comments. I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. If you'd like to support this channel in other ways, you're more than welcome to join us over on Patreon. You don't have to, but you're more than welcome to if you want to. And I will see you guys in my next video. Love ya. And before you guys go, I want to give a huge thank you to everyone supporting me over on Patreon. This channel would not be what it is today without your continued support, and I can't begin to thank you guys enough for all you've done for me. If you'd like to join us over on Patreon, the link is down in the description. I'll see you guys in my next video. Love.